Back, guys, and we've got one more best of 5 to figure out what our finals and third place match is going to be. Now we're going to be getting into TerrOr versus trutaCz. It's going to be a TVC, and I'm hoping that this series is going to be as good as the first one because, wow, Zeke versus Bonyth, that was a slugfest.
Yeah, that was brawl, if you will, a fist fight, and this one might be a gunfight because finally we have a Terran in here. You know, yeah. Terrans love them guns.
They do. Yeah, you gotta make sure you get that range upgrade though.
Yeah.
Don't want to skip that, otherwise it's not gonna be much of a fight. The mutants are just gonna crush you. But this should be a good matchup because TerrOr, as we know, does a whole bunch of stuff. But lately, I even watched his stream and he was talking about how he's kind of moved away from the unique builds that he has and gone more macro. And trutaCz also doesn't play a lot of.
What'd you say?
I said TerrOr has gone away from the unique builds and plays more macro style.
Oh, he does?
Yeah. And I was gonna say trutaCz doesn't often cheese, but then I remember that there is a particular series this BSL where it was cheese galore. So maybe I'm just talking here.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I haven't seen. Well, yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. Continue. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Okay. Well, that came out of nowhere. Well, we do have the maps already set. We do see that trutaCz ended up vetoing Tau Cross first, and then TerrOr obviously vetoed Blue Storm. No Terran wants to play that map versus Zerg. So then we have trutaCz with the first map pick. It's going to be Polypoid. So this is going to be, again, just ladder maps. And then actually Power Bond as the fourth map. Or sorry, Polypoid, Eclipse, Chakurs, Power Bond as fourth map. And then we've got Blindside as the deciding match in Game 5, if it gets there.
Yeah, the lineup is a very interesting here. Of course, TerrOr banning Blue Storm.
Now, I'm a little bit surprised that, TerrOr, this map really is very difficult for Terran to defend Yuzu, but this is a map that you would think players like TerrOr would like. So if this was anybody else, I wouldn't be surprised that a Terran vetoes this, but TerrOr in particular, I think this is a good map for him.
Wait, you talking about Blue Storm?
Yeah, Blue Storm, because he plays, walls off those Wraith, he'll play Goliath, he'll float a factory in your base, he'll 8-rack you. You never know what this guy is
I don't
doing.
care how you played it. Blue Storm is not a good map for Terran.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's hard for Terran, but if there's a Terran out there that would be okay playing it, it's TerrOr.
Yeah, well... Okay.
Doesn't matter though because the map's Polypoid, so it doesn't matter at all. We're just getting into the standard ladder map, the map that everybody loves. It's becoming the new fighting spirit. It's Polypoid. Let's get into Game 1 of our next Best of 5 series. So in the bottom left, in the red, it is trutaCz.
And in the top left, it is TerrOr in that gray Terran.
Every time you say gray or brown, I'm like, God, this guy's blind.
That's what I was thinking when I was casting with Seriosity.
Yeah, this must be him talking about Seriosity. Well, we have, just, I think, standard openers. I don't see TerrOr sending out an early SCV. So most likely just going to be Depot in the main. Meanwhile, trutaCz, I think, already has his Overlord being built.
Well, this is TerrOr. And much like Flash, TerrOr has his own brand of Terran. I think he's like a fourth race. So, us Terran players here, we might sit here and be like, yeah, this is a standard build order. No, TerrOr is not Terran. He is in fact TerrOr, the fourth race of Terran. Like Flash.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. When I think of Flash, instantly TerrOr comes to mind also. So let's see what flavor of style TerrOr's gonna pull out for us today. As I mentioned in his stream recently, I remember him talking about more macro play. So we'll see if that's going to be the case. So far, there's no shenanigans, but you know he could be up to no good in an instant. Luckily for trutaCz, he is going to scout first. Now this scout is pretty darn fast, so this is a nice timing for him. He's going to be able to harass that SV on the barracks for quite a while.
Yeah, it just dawned on me, like, the drone's basically like a sea creature. Oh, that's right, Zerg's not only made up of, like, insects, but, like, sea insects, sea creatures.
Okay. Oh, well, that SCV is getting dangerously low. That might die. I know you're talking about sea creatures, but I'm watching this SCV.
I know.
And I'm imagining, like, if this is an Artosis SCV, that he's already...
Oh my god, the repair,
is
though,
he gonna
was
get
nuts.
It? Oh, but it's still low. Oh, he's gonna get away. And the drone is gonna get away, too. Meanwhile, TerrOr does find... I think he sent an SCV to bottom left. No, he sent it to the top right, so he's not gonna find trutaCz in the first position. And actually, he must have thought it was a cross scout, because he's going bottom right also.
Yeah, he is going bottom right. Really kind of unfortunate, because you would expect to see the Overlord at top right if you're going to do this scouting pattern. So a bit of a missed opportunity here from TerrOr, and he's going to blindly just put down his command center. Although he does have a second scout going.
Well,
but
to be fair to
that was late, and it could have been a 9-pull, dude.
Well, I think to be fair to TerrOr, generally you have like your second Marine just barely popping when 9-pull lings arrive. So the fact that he didn't see it, he was feeling pretty confident, okay, this is probably not early aggressive lings. So he puts down that command center. Now remember, okay, not remember, but in previous rounds of BSL, we did see trutaCz flood lings. And I noticed at the natural he built 2 lings. And a lot of Terran players don't see those lings being built. So this 6-ling attack may be more damaging than you expect. Okay, nicely done by TerrOr. He must suspect something because the bunker's being put down. But this is still 6 lings versus just 4 right now.
Yeah, TerrOr's done his research here. And does have a bunker up in time.
How does he get that SCV? How does he get that SCV? 1 ling for 1 SCV. That is worth, and that SCV did not instantly jump back onto that command center. Now that, I don't know how low that SCV is. Okay, it's not low at all. But it does get a full scout off. And did we see Lair? I actually wasn't paying attention. Okay, we did.
Yeah, we did. And it looks like trutaCz this time around is not really interested in slamming the lings into TerrOr. Of course, there's a bunker. So, yep.
I was going to say that this is another +1 eBay, and this is risky as hell, especially after the early game where TerrOr took quite a bit of damage to just a single drone. Lings have speed, so that's going to be a dead SCV, and you can see that the Academy just started at like 425, so range is going to be super late. And talking with Scan more often, or also watching Artosis's, stream, he talks about how +1 versus players with good muta control isn't even that effective because of how good their muta control is. So this +1 eBay may not be worth. He really needs to get that range, though. Range is obviously very effective versus mutas. Ling's coming into the natural, going to try and find an SCV kill again.
Yeah, well, I mean, the theory with the +1 is that you also kind of delay your Marine count quite substantially to get up the infrastructure. So even by the time mutalisks are out, you don't really have the group of Marines that you would have if you were doing something like a 2-Rax. And it makes sense that, +1 is not even necessarily that important in that situation because, you just don't have enough units. But what's nice about the +1 is that it does, if you do manage to survive this early mid-game, and you do have like so much more pressure going, mostly because of how you ramp up into 4-Rax, and also because you do have a +1 armor timing at some point, 1-1, just so strong for busting Sunken. So we'll have to see here how TerrOr chooses to play this, but overall, so far it is very standard.
Yeah, what TerrOr is looking for here is, of course, if trutaCz oversteps and he has +1, then he's going to be dealing tons and tons of damage for mutas. But as he pointed out, really the power spike here versus this particular opener in this particular style is the +1 armor. So we'll see if that's something TerrOr goes for at around the 10-minute mark or so. For now, mutas are sharking around. Turrets are placed everywhere. Not going to find a hole to get any damage done. We do know that trutaCz took bottom right quite quickly. His third hatch is already done, in fact. So overall, this is a pretty good opener for trutaCz. And comms were delayed a long time for TerrOr, so that's actually one way he can get back his econ. TerrOr is going to keep that turret alive in the back, and meanwhile, the other two turrets remain alive too. Now remember, TerrOr does not have range right now, so he can't fight those mutas. He's got to be very careful. He bleeds off a couple of Marines.
TerrOr needs to start his factory, but his turret placement is just so sick. Actually, I do really like it. I might steal it, especially the turrets at his main. Just absolutely slick there. But so far, it's not too bad actually for TerrOr. He hasn't taken too much damage. He's starting his factory at a reasonable time. It's a bit late, you know. He did float up to 200 gas before putting it down. But you know, you kind of want to hit that pre-7-minute timing. But I mean, overall, you know, he's in a good spot. Like he's very stable. He's got his upgrades going, and most likely has finished stim and range, so he can push out now.
Yep, and +1 should be done. Yep, there it is. It has kicked in, but you can see that the bio ball is very, very low. Now mutas do find an exposed 2 turrets. He takes down one of them, and TerrOr's going to continue moving across the map, and getting this fast third hatch, getting that sunken, means that the Hydra and Lurker upgrade, I don't think is going to be... Oh, yeah, when I saw the sunkens at the nat at the third base, I was like, that's weird. So this is actually going to be trutaCz, I think, just all-inning mass muta and go for a counterattack.
Yeah, but
I don't know about this.
Yeah, I don't know about this either, because he doesn't have mutalisks. So he doesn't even have like a... he doesn't.
Yeah, he doesn't have it. He has 11. That's it.
Yeah.
And what makes this even weirder is when you see players like this go for like, okay, I'm just going to backstab all day long. Sometimes they have lings to support too, but there's no lings. So, okay, bottom right's just going to be killed. And now we've got a base trade scenario.
Yeah, looking at the main though, oh, he does get into that sweet spot, but it's just not quite enough mutalisks, I don't feel like. TerrOr needs to repair these turrets, but okay, he doesn't even kill that turret. There is a starport up. Looks like TerrOr was planning on just skipping tanks as well, so that might be an opportunity for trutaCz to get into lurkers, but trutaCz just isn't doing enough damage here. I mean, it's very hard, especially in this lane C. I'm so surprised he would go for a play like this in this lane C. It's just hard to micro mutalisks, and this is all about mutalisk control. But he's he's doing nothing. Like he's trading. It's done. This game's done. Like.
Oh my gosh! You see the nat saturation? There's 3 drones mining minerals. I actually thought that this was not going to be mutas when the sunkens went up. I thought it might just be Ultraman. But to see that this is just all in 2-hatch muta now, this is most likely not going to work, especially seeing that a lot of those mutas are heavily damaged. Now TerrOr's going to come in here and see that, okay, well the nat can't be breached, but he's going to be okay with that because he did not miss out on his tech at all. That starport's done, science facility should be done pretty soon too. Now this is the only moment in the game where trutaCz can really stage a comeback. Those Marines are very isolated and don't have medic support, so if he can have good engagements consistently, maybe he can get on top of the barracks.
Yeah, but you know, as TerrOr, in TerrOr's shoes, you know, you just kill... Oh my, he's killing Overlords as well. That's going to supply block trutaCz. Man, what can you do here? As Zerg, there's a starport going. Vessel is on the way. Radiate is researching. 4 racks with +1 Marines. Probably +1 armor is on the way as well. Maybe he has forgotten... Oh no, it's researching. So, looks like trutaCz is going to take this fight though. It is not enough Marines to defend this. Actually...
Yeah, he needs to send his... Well, remember, TerrOr has an army out in the center of the map, so it can just turn around, and all he has to do is buy time with these turrets. He needs to save the vessel, of course, but because there's no Scourge, the vessel isn't really under threat of dying, and if the mutas try and jump on it at the main, well, they're going to eat 4 turrets for a long time, so I don't think that the vessel will die. He sees it, though, but TerrOr's already almost back into position with this Marine ball.
And trutaCz is just terrible shape economically, and just hasn't put enough damage onto the Terran to justify this type of investment into aggression. And it's only a matter of time. I mean, TrueTouch will still have an economy to make Mutalisks, but the reality is that Terran will have vessels accruing slowly but surely. With a Radiate, it's going to completely stop this Mutalisk harassment, and there's just 4 racks constantly pumping Marine Medic with the full economy on Terran side.
Yeah, and with vessels coming out and it's still just layer tech, well, TrueTouch can't transition. Like, maybe if this was Hive and he had Greater Spire and force out all of these Irradiates and then goes Guardians and breaches the natural, you know, maybe that would be a different story. But to just be stuck on Mutas versus upgraded Marines with multiple vessels out, you know, it's just a matter of time until TrueTouch taps out. He even hit a drone at bottom right, but because he has no econ at his natural, he doesn't even have minerals to build a 3rd hatch down there again at bottom right.
Yes, he does not have anything, really. This game's just, again, very out of reach for the Zerg player. I mean, he will still be microing his part out with these Mutalisks. GG goes out, and Terra takes game number 1 versus TrueTouch.
Yeah, so unfortunately that build order or that strategy did not pan out at all for TrueTouch. I like the build order. I thought it was fine getting the fast 3rd base up and running, but to just go pure Muta.
It's weird that he went for the 3rd base and then just abandoned it. Like, oh, nope, I'm just going all in now.
Yeah, and remember, this is Peru versus Europe. This is not turn rate 24.
Yeah.
I personally am not wanting to micro Mutas in that.
Yeah, I've seen some sick Koreans micro Mutalisks in turn rate 14. Like, it's definitely doable, but it's very hard.
Yeah.
So it's just very strange, but, you know, sometimes it can work. It's just that TerrOr, you know, usually, like, Terran, when they move out with their Marines like that in a standard game under normal circumstances, you can't afford to push, especially with a build like +1 here, you can't really afford to push out without having all your Marines together. And because, you know, if Zerg has Mutalisks, if Zerg has Mutaling, they will just completely crush like just a small control group of Marines. This game, for some reason, Terra moved out with less than a control group of Marines and had most of his rally at his main base ready to defend a counterattack. So, whereas in most situations, you would have that rally with your Marines. So, just kind of very fortunate for Terra, really, to have units in his base in anticipation of a counterattack. But the reality is, had TrueTouch played slightly differently, he could have wiped the floor with that first push out.
Yeah, and then TrueTouch has 3rd base easily up and running, and it would be completely different. TrueTouch, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would have to rewatch the game. Maybe he missed the army moving out. Maybe he lost track of it. I'm not too sure what happened there, but yeah, not the move that TrueTouch was looking for in game 1, especially. He doesn't want to set the tone with a loss. Now we're getting into game 2. It's going to be on Eclipse. Let's get right into our next matchup, see if TrueTouch can tie it up. In the top right, our Zerg player, it is TrueTouch.
And in the bottom left, it is Terra in that gray Terran.
Yes, the gray Terran. So we've got the good spawn for Terror, in my opinion, bottom left. Eclipse is a 2-player map, and you know, sometimes you see some 8-rack shenanigans on here, and also the wall at the main and the low ground is quite tight, so this could be a potential build order from Terror. I think did we see an 8-rack from Terror earlier? I feel like we did in round of 8 or 16 on this map. Maybe not.
We did see someone 8 racks on this map. I think it was Dandy, and it got slapped.
Oh yes, that's right, it's Dandy, because I was not expecting Dandy to do anything like that. And now we do see that Terror is just going to be building that depot in the main, so we're not going to have forward racks, not going to have that city wall.
Yeah, missed opportunity.
Yeah, and meanwhile, TrueTouch, okay, that's an Overlord. So this is, you know, most likely just going to be 12 hatch opener.
Yeah. Yep, it most likely will, Nyokin. And let me hit you with a quick one here.
Hit me with it.
Where do you get your vitamin D from?
From the sun, because I go out so much.
Oh, okay, that's good. I take supplements, man. I'm a hermit. Oh, you do? Okay.
A little bit, yeah.
That's good. Oh, I take 1,000 actually.
I don't remember how much I take, but I should take more.
Yeah?
Yeah, actually.
What if you take so much vitamin D that you start tanning?
Is that a thing? That can't be a thing.
It is now. I made it up.
Now. Yeah, you made it up.
Yeah.
You made it a thing in the gypsy.
In the gypsy universe.
Theory. The gypsy universe, yeah.
Yeah, my reality, it's a thing. It's the vitamin D in your body that creates the whatever, the chloroplast. Yeah, the black holes as well.
What's funny to me about this is that nobody can hear Zero, and it's just you talking about a black hole.
I know.
I know, that's so
I just go with it, though. I love it.
Yeah. So, we have TerrOr with the command center follow-up. Meanwhile, nothing unusual for
What if
TerrOr.
Zero is just the guest co-caster one time, but he's just muted the whole time? So, we're like back and forth with Zero, but no one can hear him. That would be sick. No. Oh, Zero making me crack up on air. No one has any idea what you just said to make me laugh, but it was funny. And honestly, the best part of it is when I say something and Zero laughs, I know I was funny. And it's great confirmation. No one gets to hear it, but I do. Which is why sometimes you guys hear me start cracking up, even though Nyokin is stone-faced, cold-faced, stone-cold-faced. Sorry.
You think I'm Steve Austin in this duo here, or am I somebody else?
Certainly, yeah. Honestly, if you shaved your head, you would probably look like Stone Cold.
I'll consider it now.
Just start tossing cans of beers at people, dude.
Yeah, I need to do that. I can toss Hot 6.
Dude,
you've been
you
watching
think?
ASL, there's Hot 6 commercials all the time.
No, who cares? Screw Hot 6.
No.
You know what? You think Vince McMahon would sponsor the BSL stream if we brought it to him? Like, just tell him like, hey man, look, we've been promoting your product here on the BSL stream.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We're talking about Mankind, Kane, Undertaker.
Yeah, you got to be a real boomer to call Mick Foley Mankind.
What's his real name? What's his other ID? Is it not
What do you mean,
Mankind?
Mick Foley? No, people are
it's
just
just
calling him Mick Foley towards
Okay.
the end.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Come on, dude.
I'm too boomer, man. You know,
Yeah, you
actually, during the break, I remembered what I was going to ask you.
Oh.
Actually, when I was growing up, I had WWF pillowcases, and on them they had the Legion of Doom. God.
That's way too boomer for me,
I'm forgetting.
Are you gonna ask me to guess something? Because I have no idea.
No. I was gonna ask you, did you ever have growing up like some crazy pillowcases like that or not?
A pillowcase? Or like a
Yeah.
lunchbox?
No, a pillowcase. Come
What do you
on.
mean? Like
didn't
where
have...
you store pillows in it?
No, like on your pillow. You never had like Ninja Turtle pillowcase or bed sheets?
Oh, for like your
bed.
pencils and stuff. What? Oh, your pillows. I don't know what dude. Who calls them a pillowcase, bro? Like,
What's it called then?
I don't know, just a pillow. What?
Pillowcase? You put a case on a pillow. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I would just call it a pillow, man. Yo, you gotta remember, like, I am pretty much a native English speaker, but I'm also not a native English speaker in a sense. Okay. No, you know the craziest pillowcase I had was, it was like, there was just flies on it. I don't know what my family was thinking. It just had flies on it, and I was like, what is this?
Are you sure?
I
there
never
were
really
flies on
had,
your
like,
list?
no, I'm pretty sure, dude. It was straight up flies, like bugs on my pillow. I don't know if it was to like creep me out or what.
Well, we've got some bugs out on the map now. 6 mutalisks are trying to intercept, or not intercept, but buy time against this army. The Sunken is not even started just yet. Meanwhile, top middle is very exposed too. There's no Sunkens there, but well, the muta count is now at 8, and that makes this attack way less threatening. But again, wow, that Mutalisk almost dies. And oh, that's another bad trade. He only gets 1 Marine. This is not what trutaCz was looking for.
Yep. Ooh, that's sick though from trutaCz to just split off the injured Mutalisks there. He is managing this just well enough. TerrOr will pull back here with his initial move out, and to be honest, because of our back and forth here, Nyoken, you've been distracting me significantly enough that I'm not quite sure what build TerrOr went for, but seeing these 2 Firebats, it's quite clear to me that most likely he did go for that Academy, so I don't think +1 is done just yet. He is still on only 3 racks, but his factory is insanely late. I mean, well, it's on time, but like when you do this type of 2 racks build, you really want to accelerate that factory, and well, I mean, it's okay actually. It's not the end of the world, but this group of Marines with 2 medics should have been wiped off the face of this earth by now.
Well, we see TerrOr continuing to move out with this bio ball. It's, even though it hasn't really killed that many Mutalisks, it's done a decent amount of damage. It keeps the Mutalisks out of your base, which is really what you're looking for. You don't want to take SCV losses. You just want to get your build up and running. You want to get that science facility up, get those vessels out. Now this time around, trutaCz not all in on 3 bases. He is going to be going into Hive, not spamming 5 million Sunkens. That is natural. But again, this small bio ball is just so shocking how well it's doing versus these mutas. Normally, if I'm out on the map like this, I'm worried, like, I know, like, there's going to be lings coming in and surrounding me pretty soon. But the medics have used up all of their energy, so now TerrOr's got to be very careful every time he stems.
Oh, man. Yeah, well, with the 2 medics, I'm surprised that group of Marine is still alive. Like, it's 8 Marines, man. They should just get absolutely murdered by this flock of Mutalisks, but trutaCz has not found them just yet, and it looks like he just doesn't have the group of Mutalisks that he needs to quite yet. Starports are on the way for TerrOr, so he is getting into a nice position tech-wise.
5 racks follow-up for TerrOr. He's going to have +1, I think. Is that done? Maybe it should be done. It's 9 minutes now, so I'm sure he has +1 and +1R. Oh, he doesn't have +1 just yet, but he has a double starport completed. He's got his science facility coming down, so vessels are going to be coming out pretty soon, and this is pretty darn fast vessels, so he's going to have upwards of like maybe, oh, Greater Spire! He gets instantly scanned. Perfect scan timing from TerrOr there.
Well, double port 2, he will be able to just pump out raids to deal with it. Carapace is done. And you can see once that Marine ball got scattered out, instantly killed. Did generate the value it was looking for though, so TerrOr's gonna be happy about that. But now seeing the Greater Spire, he needs to start making raids. Vessels aren't gonna quite cut it against Guardians because, yeah, and you see Cloak is researching as well. The reason vessels aren't that good is because it just takes forever to charge up and irradiate, and that's just 1 Guardian going down. Zerg can just replenish the Guardian count so much faster than that. So you definitely need to get into raids that do like this from TerrOr.
Whoa, what's that at the bottom of TerrOr's base? Okay, well, mutas are getting in. Is that a 3rd? That's a 3rd starport, and that means that he's going to try and go cloak and snipe the Defiler if Defilers come out, and that will set up a bus with Marine Medic. Mutas not doing really much damage. Takes out a couple turrets, but that's it. But I can see that the Gypsy spot is exposed in the main. There's no turrets there. He spots Cloak though, so that's critical. Yeah. He knows raids are coming.
He does know raids are coming. And will that affect his decision making here in terms of, you know, if I'm Zerg in this situation, I just don't make Guardians, but at the same time, he does have so many Mutalisks out on the map, he kind of is forced to use them somehow. So will he make more Devourers than usual? The thing is, like, trutaCz is doing this build, but you're supposed to have Hydras coming in at this time. But he has no Hydras. So what's going to supplement these Guardians? Nothing. Like, he's just going to roll over and die. This isn't really a build here from Zerg. Like, you desperately need something to support these Guardians. We'll have to see. It looks like TerrOr is running straight under those Guardians, and
he's focusing the Overlord. He wipes out the ability to see the cloaked rays. There's a single Devourer. That's 5 rays. Well, you can't attack with these Guardians anymore. He has to wait, but he doesn't realize that the rays are already here.
Yeah, and the raids, 5 raids will make short work of a couple of these Guardians here, but they do get in range of the Overlords, and with the acid spores on them, you don't need detection anymore. Hydras are here, and that's it. I mean, like, he just suicided all of his wraiths.
holy! I think the tables have turned here.
Where did those Hydras come from? They came out of nowhere. I don't think
From the ground, dude. They were burrowed this whole game.
I don't know. I don't necessarily know if they were the difference maker, because, as you mentioned, the Devourer and Mutalisk the Devourer spores give vision too. So I think those alone would have cleaned it up. Now TerrOr, realizing he kind of botched there, has gone for a double drop. He's loading it on the left side. I think he's got his eyes set at that third base, but honestly, he needs to win the game with the drop. I think he needs to go straight to the main, because this is a menacing Guardian Hydra attack hitting his natural. Or
Yeah,
did it get
he
spotted by Overlords?
He doesn't have tanks.
Yeah, I know he has no tanks, but the drops did get spotted. You can see
Wait,
that the
what?
Hydras are turning around.
He's just bringing back his Guardians as well, but those flying crabs are going to have a hard time swimming through the air.
Well, the drop did unload, but will there be enough Marines left over to deal with the incoming Hydras? He loses the dropships too, and the answer is it's going to be, well, it's going to be yes for now. There is 6 Marines left over, but that is a lot of Hydras coming back. But remember, these Marines have +1. And these wraiths bleed out again. How somehow he gets rid of the last Overlord, and maybe he'll be able to clean up those Guardians.
Oh man. Yeah, these Overlords still don't have speed. They're just kind of... Oh, there we go. What are Overlords supposed to be anyway? Like, I just don't understand what that unit is. It has like 2 big fists too, and just... Anyway.
Well, this attack, I don't know if it can be stopped. As you mentioned, there's no tanks. There's now a lot of Hydra supporting the Guardians. There's 10 Guardians maybe right now. And he has the Overlord speed, so Wraith is not an issue anymore. You can see he's pumping out vessels, but there's only 2. And even if he irradiates, there's just simply not enough irradiate to get all of the Guardians. And this might be trutaCz reaching the natural and taking this game. Remember, he's on 3 base. He's not all in 2 base, where maybe if TerrOr stabilizes and can salvage the game on 1 base, that's not going to happen. Guardians with +1 armor too, so beefy.
Yeah, this game's over. I don't know, it's so weird, because usually when Terran has this much time to stabilize, they hold this kind of easily, but it looks like TerrOr just went for the vessels, but vessels are absolutely worthless. I mean, unless you build up to like 6 vessels that all have irradiate before the bus comes in, but when you commit to those raids, diving in early with those raids just wasn't really the play, and it looks like the counterattack does get wiped out, and it's just this composition is so incredibly efficient. TerrOr GG's, and trutaCz takes game 2.
Yep, game 2 going over to trutaCz. It's going to be a high score now, and I thought that the race switch was pretty good, but throwing away the 5 without getting really a single Guardian. Remember, he just tried to pounce on the Overlord, is that correct? No, the Marines pounced on it, but regardless, the race did not clean up the Guardians very effectively. Backfired, really. But those dropships, I thought they had potential to bring the game back, but getting intercepted by something in the center of the map. trutaCz nice response, instantly turns around, takes game 2. Now we're going to be going into game 3. This is your favorite map. Oh, not yet. We're going to be going into a break, and then we'll come back with Shakuris.
That
Wow.
Well, actually, at least range kicked in. If this, if this was a second game with no range, this game was over. But actually, Bonyth still punishing Oya here. No shuttle for Oya-G. This is massive.
Oh,
There's pounce on the shuttle!
Oh my gosh, 1 health! And it survives.
He's still going! He's crazy, this
He
Bonyth
got
guy.
it. Yeah, he got it. And that was not what Bonyth was looking for. That was a big...
Oh, is he gonna load up the
no.
He does. How many probes go down? A chunk! But is the shuttle gonna die?
Oh, he gives up his shuttle and Reaver, and
What?
that is... Okay, well, he gets 2 more probes, but that's not what you were looking for. Escape supplies are slightly in favor of Oya-G, but there's 2 DTs moving across the map, and this is the perfect timing because it's about to start getting nuts. And with the game, oh, does the observer see it? No, it doesn't, because that's not even
That's
Oya-G's
actually
observer.
Bonyth. Yeah, that's
Bonyth's observer, but now the observer sees it, but Oya-G can't turn around. He's gonna lose so much. He does turn around, but that's also gonna bottleneck him now at his natural. And you can see Bonyth, he's instantly counterattacking.
The timing on these DTs is incredible. I mean, Oya-G gives up the position, and now he just completely contained this one DT inside the base. Is still killing probes.
Yeah, but there's action at the front, and Oya-G can't balance both. And that's 1 Reaver falling. The shuttle's super low, but he doesn't catch it. But the Reavers of Oya-G are not firing. Look, supplies now plummeted down to 75. The main is getting ransacked. 11 probe kills on that DT. And this is probably going to be the end. But there's 3 Reavers here, and they're packing quite a punch. What's he
Reaver
doing?
shuttle coming inside the main.
Oh
it's
my
gonna kill
God.
so many probes, but actually he targeted the Dragoon, so the probes get out alive. But then this DT's just fighting 10 probes in the Dragoon alone.
He's gonna kill it.
The Dragoon, and now he's gonna go back to killing some more probes. It's so annoying. Meanwhile, Bonyth is pushing in the front. The 1 Reaver is killing 2 Reavers off the shuttle in conjunction.
Oh.
Just an amazing micro from Bonyth. That Reaver is still green health, but it actually goes down inside the shuttle.
Get the DT on camera. How many kills he at? We're back and about to go into game 3. It's going to be on Shakuris between trutaCz and TerrOr. trutaCz did manage to tie up the score 1-1 with some nice Guardian Hydra play. And now this is Gypsy's favorite map. No, not your favorite map.
I don't know, is it?
Yeah, you always talk about how it's so good.
No, my
for
favorite
Terran.
map is Blue Storm, dude.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that was
Gypsy
vetoed.
Storm.
Yeah, Gypsy Storm.
It was vetoed. Who would veto this map?
Not me. I'm always picking Gypsy Storm and Power Bond. Those are no vetoes for me.
Yeah. No, yeah, Power Bond. I do like Power Bond, though. I think it's a dope map. I might be with you on that, but Shakuris Plateau is definitely a solid map here for Terran. And it wasn't even Terra's pick, it was trutaCz's pick, so interesting pick from the Zerg player.
Well, we are getting a look at the statistics. Oh no, we're not. We're going right into the 3rd game. So let's see who's going to take a 2-1 lead in our final semifinals match. Series, I mean. In the top right in the red, it is trutaCz. Or in the bottom right.
And in the top right, or the bottom right, in the gray Terran, it is TerrOr.
Yeah, in the gray. I saw in the lobby that both players had the pink color. They had trutaCz had pink, and then TerrOr had magenta, not using his. Or we don't get to see his patented magenta man because trutaCz pulling out the pink.
Yeah. That's too bad.
That is too bad. I don't know where I was going with that one. But we've got vertical spawns here, so we see that trutaCz is not going to find Terror first. And again, we don't see any SCV movement from Terror, so not going to have an aggressive opener.
Yeah, again, Terror is much like Flash, the 4th race. So definitely sometimes has unorthodox strategies.
Well,
so far
you know
has been pretty standard though.
You know what I am thinking?
No.
I remember seeing these spawns earlier in BSL.
Yeah, and we saw 2 Marines win the game.
Yeah, you think we can see that again? You think he's
No,
gonna whip it out?
no.
You think he asked Dandy for that build order?
Yeah, how'd you do that one? Well, step 1, make sure Zerg's away from the keyboard.
Oh, is that step 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my god, that was heartbreaking for Hawk. I couldn't believe that his Overlord just slightly missed it.
Indeed, it was definitely heartbreaking, but it was not heartbreaking for Dandy, that's for sure. He got the freest win I've ever seen.
Yeah. Well, we've got another 12 hatch opener from trutaCz, not building any extra drones, so he's not going to be greedy. You know, he knows he's playing versus Terror. Doesn't want to lose to an 8-Rax, even though this is not a common 8-Rax map, because he can't build in the center of the map. It does happen sometimes. Now, pool went down, and I see that gas also went down, so pretty much the same exact build that we've already saw on Polypoid and Eclipse.
Yeah, and Terror is playing standard himself, going for that double scout. The second scout is a bit late. You know, I've heard scans say that if you want a double scout like this, 14 supply is the juicer. But you know, because when you scout this late with the second scout, Lings could have just sidestepped your SCV.
Yeah, 14 is also the supply that I go out if I'm going to second scout, but generally I don't even second scout. I don't care. I just hope they don't ling me. So he does come in here and see that their lair timing is on time. Of course, if this was a faster extractor, it could have been speed and lair at the same time, so he does have to be a little bit cautious of that. And remember, back on the Polypoid game at the Natural, he built a couple lings. We don't know if he built any lings this time, but I think that's a depot going down. Oh, he did. So again, it's going to be that 6 ling attack, and again, just instant depot, instant bunker from Terror. And this, I think, is probably going to be that eBay follow-up that we saw on Polypoid again.
Yeah, I respect this from Terror. I mean, trutaCz is just so unbelievably aggressive early game in this matchup, so just getting that bunker and the depot early ensures that you're quite safe versus most of what Zerg can do. You can still get mass ling all in, but you know, he did continuously make Marines off of that 1-Rax, and this eBay is significantly delayed. I mean, it is like the eBay is after the 3rd depot and the bunker. You know, this +1 is like he hasn't even started +1, dude, and like the spire's already going down. There's almost no point in doing this build if you're gonna.
Well, Academy's coming down, so we know that that's going to be very, very late range, as we pointed out on the Polypoid game. This is one of the downfalls of the build. Versus a 2-hatch play, you're quite exposed in the early stages. You will get picked apart by Muta, so you got to be very, very careful. Lings clean up the SCV. It's going to push that back. Now, that drone is going to build a 3rd hatch in the main in a hidden spot. Now, I'm personally not the biggest fan of this. However, when Terran moves out, you know, remember last time we saw Terran move out with like nothing, and he moved all the way across the map, got a killing blow on the 3rd base, and I pointed out that when you go for mass muta, something like a Ling Flood can really help support it, so that we may see that again. trutaCz may just let Terra move out, get way too far out of position, and instantly go for a backstab.
Yeah, well, you know, that this is a nice kind of mind game here from Zerg, because the 3rd hatch this early, first of all, I mean, when Terran doesn't scout your 3rd base, it's extremely confusing, and it's difficult to play against mentally, but Also, if you don't figure it out fast enough, with this third hatch, Zerg can get a couple more drones and really kind of accelerate their economy, and then once they do that, they can actually pump out a ridiculous amount of units, like just mutiling. Like they can get a decent and like they can get enough units to just man fight Terran out in the middle of the map. And if you don't respect that as Terran, and especially if Zerg goes into a fourth hatch very quickly at an expansion, then all of a sudden, you know, most of the time you're dealing with like a 3 hatch into Queen's Nest, maybe not very high production from Zerg, but once it's 4 hatch, like they can really contest you in that production, and it's easy to misstep as Terran in that situation. So this type of build from trutaCz can be very solid.
Here come the first few Mutalisks. Is that only 3? Is that what I saw? I mean, okay, it's 5. So this is the magic number to one-shot Marines, but you need 7 to one-shot SCV. So he's gonna sync up with those other 2 that were flying across the map. Now he's gonna look for some kills at the natural. Meanwhile, 4th hatch going up at that 3rd base. I'm on the fence here, because when TerrOr scans that base, he's also going to see the 3rd hatch there, and that kind of... Oh, did he miss it? Wow! As I say that, he misses it, and he doesn't know that this is going on. And as he mentioned, TerrOr's going to move out with just 1 group of Marine Medic, but I didn't see any Lings out just yet, so this might be a good timing. Maybe trutaCz powered a little bit too hard building that 4th hatchery.
Yeah, maybe, but we'll see. I mean, it looks like TerrOr is just going to man mode here. You have to be really patient as Terran under normal circumstances, because you have to constantly reinforce this army for it to actually fight. You know, both players are obviously reinforcing this army, and look, TerrOr's doing this again, where he's just keeping the bulk of his units at his main base. There's only 2 medics with this group of Marines, and with the 3 hatch play here by trutaCz, if trutaCz just makes Lings, he can easily clean this up.
Yeah, but the question is does he have the money to produce Mutas and Lings and build Sunkens and build that 4th hatch? And for now, the answer is no. And this time around, TerrOr is going to sync up with the rest of his army, and this bio ball is very scary unless you bleed off a decent chunk of your Marines like that. Remember, the Marines should have +1 now, so they do pack a punch in any engagement.
Yeah, and here definitely under these under this type of, well, okay, hold that thought. No, under this type of turn rate, it is hard for Terran to move multiple groups. You know, that's the one advantage Zerg has. But it looks like Mutalisks aren't going to clean this group up easily, especially with only 2 medics there. They just don't really heal up the damage from the sim, but those Marines did trade well enough against the Mutalisks where that was almost worth for Terran. But yeah, it is really hard actually controlling multiple groups in lag. Like, you would expect that this type of turn rate is pretty bad for the Zerg player, but when you're moving 2, 3, 4 control groups of bio, it's actually much easier for the Zerg to kind of swoop around with 1 control group and micro just that and be overly efficient with it, whereas, you know, Terran really kind of struggles in this type of latency to really effectively move around multiple groups and counter micro appropriately. So there's counterplay to be had on both sides. trutaCz does have a significant amount of Mutalisks. You can see how he's sharking around for reinforcements. TerrOr is committing really hard to this attack, but this is almost always a terrible decision.
Almost always, but these Marines are heavily upgraded, and this is more than just 1 group of Marine and Medic. It's about 1 group and a half. And behind this, okay, that's a great engagement for TerrOr. The +1 Marines deal so much damage, but those medics need to get picked off if trutaCz wants to stabilize this game. Now, because he went for 4 hatches and spent all his resources on Mutas and Lings, I still don't know if he has a hive, does he have lurkers, or what this is. Again, this might be another situation where trutaCz is kind of all in with this. Despite killing this army, does it matter? Because TerrOr, I know, has vessels coming.
Yeah, it's not... That's a Hydra Den on the way.
Yeah, I mean, it's on the way, but there are no lurkers out just yet, and there's still a lot of Marine medic here. He's even going up to a 5th barracks.
Well, he is definitely in trouble. There's no Queen's Nest in
7
sight.
barracks.
7 barracks. I mean, this is a huge commitment off of 2 base. but
Now,
he's
He's just so far ahead because he has a 2-port going, man. Like, the only problem, and the Hydra Den is so late. I mean, we saw an Evolution Chamber there from trutaCz. If trutaCz had a faster Hydralisk Den and faster Lurkers in this situation, then it might be scary here for Terran, because a Lurker Flood could really punish the 2-port. But given what's happening here, the double port being so much faster, so much more on tempo than any kind of high play, any kind of really heavy lair play, I'm really disliking the Zerg's position here.
Vessels are 6 seconds away from having enough energy. Can't lead those off. So you just pick off those Marines, but they are playing with fire. Marines are moving to engage these Lings and Mutas. I think
that's a big blunder.
That is a big blunder. Right before a Radiate hits, he throws away his entire Marine Medic Ball. A Radiate comes in, but that was not the timing that he wanted. He's going to be reset. Luckily for him, is he has 7 barracks, and okay, is trutaCz going to make a big mistake here? The Marines have 1/1 upgrades, and there's not that many Mutalisks left over.
Hydralisks are out here, so it looks like trutaCz is going to look to transition into Lurkers, but I fear that his economy is just not good enough to sustain this game. Like, he has put absolutely no pressure onto the Terran's economy. The Mutalisks did not kill a single SCV, and this is why you see TerrOr just running away with this game, despite the fact that nothing's happened. You know, if Zerg plays kind of low econ style, they need to do some damage with the Mutalisks. They need to really pressure this Terran base.
This vessel count is already at 4. He can almost irradiate all the Lurkers at this point. Behind this, Evolution Chamber did start +1 armor, I'm sure, but no hive anywhere in sight. But that is a lot of Lurkers. But the problem is these Marines already have +1 armor, and there's 7 barracks. So unless all the Marines clump up, going up a ramp or something, you should assume that this is going to be a great engagement against Lurker Ling for Terran. Meanwhile, dropship has been loaded up, and going around the side of the map, trying to, I guess, drop the natural or potentially the main. Unscouted, unbelievable.
Yeah, just signature TerrOr. Honestly, he does do this quite a lot, actually, to drop around the side there. Just look at that economy. There's just no drones. Like, it's almost not worth dropping because the damage is already done. Like, there's just no econ for the Zerg player.
And look at this, TerrOr moving out at the same time, drawing the attention to the main while pushing through into the center of the map. We're gonna have an engagement here. Oh, TerrOr's gonna back off, but I think he could engage this because he is heavily upgraded. But this is fine too, because he can just irradiate these Lurkers for free now. There's 2 of them. That's gonna be 2 out of the 6 gone. Meanwhile, the drop has gone, or is still continuing. He might even pick off that pool.
Yeah, this drop is gonna end the game. I mean, this is killing so many drones. There's already no economy to work with on Zerg's behalf, and now even less so. And +1/+1 Marines will just trade beautifully there. Such a decent vessel cloud as well. Even more vessels coming in. That's a physics live. You don't see that every day off of 2 base, but I mean, TerrOr is so committed. Like, he has absolutely, like, when you take your 3rd and 4th base this late as Terran, like, you really are on a clock, but he's just so far ahead, it doesn't matter.
Okay, well, Lurker, this is a good, or could have been a good position for the Lurkers, but the Spines just don't get the connections they needed. And that's going to be TerrOr taking the Shakuris game, and he's going to go up 2-1.
Yeah.
And I'm very worried about trutaCz because this doesn't seem like him to Mutaling, and like that's the whole game plan, you know, and it's backfired completely. TerrOr's easily dealing with this type of play.
Yeah, he does seem to be running up against the wall playing TerrOr here. Really feel like TerrOr is in a good spot here to take the series on this game. It is going to be his map pick too. That was trutaCz's map choice. So, and the map is going to be Power Bond, actually. Speak of the devil. Do you think we're going to see mech play from TerrOr?
Yeah, I think so. This is the map to do it. It's by far the best mech map, easily. You don't have to move, you get 5 bases. And we know in RCG, he used it versus Eon Zerg over and over and over and over, and Eon Zerg really struggled versus it. So I think this is going to be the game we finally see some non-bio play. I don't even think we've, other than Medino, have we seen anybody play mech? I don't think so versus Zerg.
Not this season, I don't think.
Yeah, Goliath builds and mech type of builds have really fallen out of fashion because Zerg players got so good at macroing and using queens, and you know, they one-shot tanks. It's really, really hard to make work. But TerrOr, he is a master of the mech play, and I think Power Bond is the map to pull it out. But at the same time, you know, trutaCz is probably thinking the same thing, like, okay, well, this is probably a mech game. So maybe TerrOr has some alternative build plan. Oh, I have to point this out. I don't think this comes into play, but there is a command center in the middle of the map that could be infested.
Yeah, that's a good one. Haha.
Haha, we might see some infested.
You remember
drops.
there was that one, well, there are a couple of games in Pro League, but I've seen a neutral command center be used in Pro League, and it was in this matchup, right? It was maybe even in ZVP, and then they were just dropping like infested Terrans and Darkstorm and stuff.
Yeah.
It was crazy. You know what I'm talking about, right?
In Darkstorm? No, I've never
Yes,
seen that.
man. I'm pretty sure.
You're gonna have to find me that game because I'm sure that's crazy. Well, let's get into potentially our last game of the day. It's Power Bond. trutaCz needs to win here, otherwise he's gone. So in the top right are a blue Terran player looking to repeat his appearance in the finals. It is TerrOr.
And in the brown Zerg at the 6 o'clock, it is trutaCz. Yeah, it does look like pink. It looks more like flesh.
Yeah, it looks, yeah. I don't know exactly what blue is thinking of calling that pink, but you know, if TerrOr wins here, we're setting up for a rematch from last season. Remember Bonyth versus TerrOr we had in the finals of season 11, and of course if trutaCz wins here, it would be another appearance between those two titans facing off. But we haven't seen trutaCz in the finals since season 7, and they last faced off in the finals in season 6. So either winner in this series should be a very exciting finals. I'm looking very forward to that. Now, something to point out already is TerrOr no low ground wall. Now, I have to say top right is the one position I really hate walling. So this doesn't mean that this isn't mech play just yet, but so far it looks like we may have bio again.
Yeah. I mean, it is early here to call it. We'll see if he does choose to go for that gas early. But so far 11 racks, and he is scouting, so you could still see a 13 gas, but not really something common in this matchup. So most likely this is going to be bio, as you've mentioned, Nyokin.
So you have the 12 hatch opener from trutaCz. Again, trutaCz scouting pretty darn fast. He is going to find TerrOr in the first position, and he is going to see that there is no wall. He is going to see that there is no gas. And unfortunately, again, TerrOr is going to scout trutaCz last. Okay, can he have as much success as he did on the Polypoid game with this drone? I think the answer is no this time around. The progress of that Rax is a little bit too far along. Gas going down again, so again, it's just going to be 2 hatch all day, every day, baby. We're not going to see the 3 hatch style.
Yep. Let's see if he can pilot it better this time around, though. The drone is inside of the base there, sees that there is no gas, the most important part of the scouting. Also sees the command center timing here. Will be happy to obviously know that it's not necessarily 15 command center. But yeah, I mean, nothing out of the ordinary. This is all very standard.
So again, I guess all I'm really looking for is, do we see Natlings being built? They haven't done really much for trutaCz all day long. However, it does force the bunker, which does delay the academy. So I'm kind of okay with it, whether it gets Marine kills or SCV kills, especially since we know TerrOr loves to go for the eBay when he scouts this exact scenario. So we will wait and see if that's going to be the case again this time around.
Yeah,
There's the
4 links so far.
And the natural... Nope, drone this time. Now remember, TerrOr hasn't scouted the nat anytime the 6-lings got morphed. And he's just automatically building the bunker. So either way, whether it's a drone or lings, it does punish the academy timing. So I like the switch up here, actually building a drone, get his econ rolling a little bit better.
Yeah, but we saw TerrOr making it work regardless. I mean,
yeah,
he just goes for that eBay that finishes when the Spire starts. So it's been working for him. It's gonna be the same thing this time around.
I mean, why change it? You're winning. This guy's continuing to build mass mutiling into heavy upgraded Marines. I mean, that's the dream, right? Like, okay, you want to fight me head on with just mutiling? I'll take that scenario all day, every day. So I like that TerrOr's just continuing to go with what's worked. Okay, this time around it's a 415 Academy, so the Academy's getting faster and faster each time. I was going to say I would like to see like a Hydra Den, but not going to be the case. We are going to continue with the Mutaplay.
Yep, and second gas going to go down at 430, very standard here for TerrOr. He does have vision all over the place. Not sure what he would be scouting for, because he has kind of seen that it's standard build order, but nevertheless, I guess what else would you be doing with the links? Well, you could be denying the scout here. So the thing is, getting this rescout as TerrOr this late, you confirm the Spire, you don't need to make comp sets, so you get that many more SCVs out, and your econ's just rolling. So, you know, that's one thing that definitely TerrOr should have not allowed to happen, especially because he did go for link speed as well.
Yeah, this is going to be 4 racks. I think the Eclipse game was 3 racks. So because of that scout, he's feeling confident that he can go
well,
for
the Eclipse
no
game was also, wasn't an academy game. I'm pretty sure he went to acad.
Yeah, that's true. But with delaying the comp set, that money can go into a 4th barracks. He's going to be pumping out a lot of Marines, a lot of medics pretty quickly. Now this time around, spawns seem to be pretty good for TerrOr. Like, he can just go directly into the main, and that could be annoying for TerrOr.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised that TerrOr picked this map, but is just kind of playing a very standard style on it because, well, looking at this position, I mean, this map, it is hard to defend against Mutalisks, but this top right position seems like probably the best base to defend against Mutalisks.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I mean, out of the 3, like...
The turrets at the natural is kind of the most dangerous position. We do have mutas coming in to TerrOr's base right now. You can see the 2 turrets are already set up. Not going to find any damage there. Not going to find any damage at the bottom side. You have to point out that behind the barracks, towards the top right of the mineral patches, that's the gypsy spot up there. There's no turrets over there, so if TerrOr moves out and leaves that area exposed, he could take some losses. Now what I like to do in this situation is leave a medic in the mineral line and try and heal up some of these SCVs, because the splash damage does a surprising amount. But instead, TerrOr is going to move to the bottom. Wow, those mutas barely caught a glimpse of them, and that could have been devastating if those had gotten across unseen.
So crazy that he's moving out with just 2 medics.
I know.
Like...
You don't have any heal potential right there after like 2 stems.
Very risky indeed. We'll see if TerrOr can capitalize on that. So far, he has baited 1 stem out, and of course, these medics have probably been out for a while, so they're full on energy. The thing is, it's not just the overall energy that the medics represent, but they also just take. It takes longer to heal up your ball after a stem, and the longer it takes, I mean, the longer your Marines are at 30 HP, the easier it is for the Mutalisks to trade with them and then fly out. So that's another part of why you need more than 2 medics. It's not just the energy running out. You need your units to get healed. And this move out is just going to get completely demolished.
Yeah, this is 11 units, and this was just way too fluid. This is why you don't see Terran players make this type of move. Now, this time around, he didn't even travel that far, but trutaCz knew that he's just rallying into the main. He's just going to try and continue to push into the natural, and top left has already been completed. He's got his third gas up and running, Queen's Nest going down, so he's going to be teching into Hive. Meanwhile, TerrOr has not missed a beat with his build either. His starports are actually almost done.
This almost looks like a different player. Like, I don't know, like trutaCz this game around is... I mean, I wonder, does he have a Hydralisk Den, or is that a Queen's Nest to get into... Oh, he does. So he's just playing absolutely standard. Like, it's like a completely different person here from the previous 3 games. Like, he's playing phenomenally well this time around. Everything is on point, like, build-wise. It's just weird, because watching this, like, why has he not been playing like this the last 3 games? Maybe now, finally, he has found his groove. He's definitely in the 6th spot. Has made a couple more lings than maybe you would want to, depending on if those red dots on the map are more lings. Because you can see he is maybe a bit light on the drone count. But his tech timing is nuts. He has Lurker Aspect coming in. Evolution Chamber as well. Hydras are out. This is just beautifully played by trutaCz.
Yeah, now that mineral line is exposed because that turret has been taken down, and moving those Marines out of position means that the main and the racks just kind of exposed. Mutas instead want to engage the Marines. I don't know about this because +1's done, but that is not a sizable Marine count. Well, okay, now with reinforcements it is. He's going up to 5 barracks now, so he's got a killer production. Vessel's not out just yet, but they're much faster than the previous games. They're going to be coming out maybe around like 950. That's so fast.
Yeah, and again, the only downside of trutaCz play here this game is that he did not get any harassment. Really, I mean, he killed a couple of SCVs at the natural, but didn't really slow down the Terran economy. But at the same time, trutaCz himself has good timing on his Hive. He has lurkers coming in. Nidus Canal will be finished way before a push could threaten his bases. So, you know, on the other side of the map, on the Zerg side of the map, it is looking nice for him. TerrOr already committing to the 2-base play. I don't really like this. I mean, we'll see if it works, but if trutaCz just kind of chills here, he should be very sturdy.
I think this is okay because his vessels came out so fast at 10 minutes. That means he's going to have 6 vessels. Okay, he could have had 6 vessels at 11:30, and that's probably like when Consume and Darkstorm is going to finally come out. But you've already irradiated for days, so I think this is an okay move. Meanwhile, we do see again it's double drop ships. This time it's faster, and it's going to go towards the right side of the map into the main. The Madman. He's going to have to dodge all of these overlords, but there's no vision other than that mid-right, I guess, Ling sitting there. But, okay, if he wants to get around the mid-right position, he needs to make it... Oh, my God, did he see it? Oh, you can see this, the mini-map. He didn't see it.
Yeah. I mean, it must have been on the map for just a second, and he's going to hook around.
Going to the main.
Yeah, this is really smart from TerrOr, and this
can elevate her in.
Game ending. Like, if he gets in position, actually the vessels are baiting the Mutalisks out of position.
Amazing.
And he's going to get a full unload anytime. Now the dropships are kind of bugging out. He needs to go back and pick up more units, though this isn't quite enough units to end the game. But, I mean, that's 2 full dropships. Hold that thought. And if there's nothing inside of trutaCz's main, he needs to bring the dropships back.
He's trying to get the Mutalisks also. He irradiated both lurkers, and he lost both vessels, but he's losing. Oh my God, the Marines and medics are so strong, but he needs to re-elevator some Marine medic. He's not using the dropships in the lurkers, and the Mutalisks maybe can save the day.
Yeah, I don't understand. These dropships are AFK. What?
Oh my gosh, if he was able to elevate... Yeah, if he elevated instantly... For sure, he would have breached the main, but as played, he still got a chance. I don't know what happened to the second dropship. Yeah, there it is. It's just a little bit out of position, but now you can see he's slowly trying to elevate her in. But lurkers are already in position now, so the window of opportunity has come and gone.
He had so much time to just win the game there and, like, kind of just drop the ball there. Very unfortunate. He still can. It's only 3 lurkers, But now he's bringing back the dropships. He's going to try and go drop at this other location. Just really unfortunate. Like, really screwed up the execution there, Terror did. Because that was an easy game win. If he loses this game, man, he will absolutely hate himself for that.
Well, there's nothing by the Nidus, and he's unloading. There's also, this pool isn't done just yet, so he can't even morph Sunkens. Okay, a scan goes off, but he's got to use all
he's not focusing the lurkers.
It's okay, it's okay. He popped the Nidus, and he has a decent amount of Marine Medic here.
Well, I mean, that is more than enough to probably kill this base. Yeah, there's nothing anywhere. I mean, trutaCz is just struggling here to have any presence anywhere. That pre-colony is not a sunk, but I feel like he has enough lurkers to defend this base. He is going to lose that gas, though, but he's going for a bust here. Terror is. There's no lurkers in position at the natural, and I don't think he's going to be able to hold on anymore, Nyokin.
No, he can't hold. The Nat is going to be compromised, and I don't know if he ever rebuilt his spawning pool or if he realized it went down. Lurkers do... Okay, that was a pretty good connection right there. But Nat has been breached. Third base has been breached. Ultraless Cavern's up, but he taps out before he's able to use it, and that means Terror is going to be our second finalist, and we're going to have a repeat of Season 11.
Yeah. Can't believe Terror did it again, man. A finalist yet again. It is going to be a rematch. Bonyth versus Terror. Of course, Bonyth had the upper hand last time around. As I drop my water bottle thing there. And just a nuke goes off here when Terror wins, honestly. I'm sure all of Latin America is just uproar cheering for their prince here that has managed to kill the the previous, remember we were calling trutaCz the Prince of BSL not too long ago. But yeah, so not really surprising result there. Terror just outplayed trutaCz 3-1 victory across the board today, first and second series, and that sets us up for Terror versus Bonyth tomorrow in the finals, and we will also have the third place match of Ziki versus trutaCz, which should be quite interesting as well.
Yeah, both matchups should be very, very exciting. Not just because we're gonna have, a TVP and a non-mirror, something. Well, I was gonna say something different, but season 11 we had TVP. But most of the time we see a lot of ZVZ or ZVP action as the finals. But third place match, Ziki versus trutaCz. We already saw trutaCz versus Eon Zerg, and after that matchup, you can't get another better ZVZ matchup in Ziki versus trutaCz because both players have immaculate micro, immaculate muta control. So that should be very exciting. Could go either way. And this time around, I'm really hoping that Terror can have a better appearance versus Bonyth, because remember last season, I think he ended up losing 4-0 if I remember correctly. Is that right? Oh, 4-2. No, 4-1. 4-1 was actually
4-1.
But I remember the games were very close. Like
well, I don't know about being very close, but the first game on Gold Rush was Terror's map. He took it to a late game. I remember that game. That was actually a pretty sick game, and he smacked Bonyth, but everything kind of fell apart. One of the games that stands out to me was that game on Polyvoid where Terror went for that 6 factory attack or something, and then Bonyth had 3 bases and just killed him with Storm, but it was just what was going on that game. But
I'm thinking about it. I know you're gonna remember this. The Sylphid game. Remember, Terror had a stranglehold and then overextended to that bottom left base.
Yeah,
and that he I don't want to say it was
that was a close game. That's true.
That was really close.
Yeah.
And actually, Terror was winning there, but through all his tanks, sometimes when you throw all
it was hard versus carriers.
Well, yeah, tanks don't hit air. It's not, very, very difficult. But this time around, Terror, I'm hoping he has a better showing, or at least some of those games that were close go in his favor. But yeah, this is going to be the end of today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We've got our finalist and third place match set. And of course, we want to thank our sponsor, Esport Fund, and all you Patreon supporters and watchers out there. At the $100 level, we have Star Lover, $50 level, Grail, Striker, and FTX Sony. The $30 level, Tupacalypse and Druglog, and at the $20 level, Cuz, X Civil War X, Christian Egg, and Mad Cats Free Road, Martin Harsmar, LML, and Lingam Pump, and all you other Patreon supporters. Thank you so much for supporting the BSL. And remember, $10 level or above, you get all the replays from BSL. So if you want those games, how did Bonyth end up taking that series versus Ziki? Definitely consider becoming a Patreon supporter.
Yeah, and check out the store, boys. Knife and I have been rocking them shirts. Just everything on here, man. Super Ghostly cap, Super Ghostly mugs. There's the, what was it? Mr. Bombastic one as well. I like that one. Game on Gamers too. Yeah, so. I know, I've seen these, you know, there's been these shirts kind of cropping up everywhere on Broodwar streams. I know Medino has a shirt. Pretty sure LML has a shirt. So many people have shirts and they're pretty swag, honestly. Also, guys, check out the YouTube. Bombastic Starleague, where all the VODs get uploaded. And yeah, the other thing is also, we haven't mentioned it yet, but you guys have seen the little graphic there, but there's gonna be a trip or something from Moscow to that place there. What's it called? Magadan. So, yeah, Moscow to Magadan, which I have no idea where that is, but that's probably in Russia, close to, Zero is telling me it's close to Korea. So
it seems like they're doing like a cross-country Russia
Yeah, it's
trip.
a cross-country, 10,000 kilometers. So is this about, like, if people are interested, where should they go? I guess they probably know. Okay, and there's a hardcore link, so I'm sure the people that know what's up with this thing will know what to do with it, but yeah. Yeah, just take a picture and just follow it or something. I don't know what's going on. I feel like you can see there's like jets and stuff on this van, so it's about to launch into the stratosphere, man. Yeah, that's it. That's it for today, guys, because tomorrow we're gonna have another action-packed day. You know, here at the BSL, we never rest, guys. You would expect, yeah, it's a tournament, you know, okay, between these players, they have to play back-to-back, man. There's no resting here. It's a true test of strength. Tomorrow will be the finals and the third place match. You don't want to miss it. But yeah, for today, from Poland, out here in the BSL caster's desk, I'm Guy, he's Nye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye, guys. See you tomorrow.